High in the jagged peaks of the Andes, where the air is thin and the clouds cling to ancient stones, lies the ghost of an empire. An empire that commanded mountains, mastered stonework, and worshipped the sun. But beneath the history we know, there is a legend that has echoed for 5 centuries, a whisper of a path, not of stone, but of solid gold. A story of a treasure so vast it drove conquerors mad. This is the story of the Inca's Golden Path, a tale of ambition, tragedy, and a lost fortune that may still be waiting to be found. What does treasure mean to you? Is it wealth? Is it power? For the Inca, it was something more. They called gold the sweat of the sun and silver the tears of the moon. These weren't metals for currency, they were divine substances, a physical connection to their gods. Imagine entire temple walls shimmering with gold, gardens filled with life-sized golden statues of corn, llamas, and flowers, all glinting under the high Andean sun. This wasn't a kingdom. It was a reflection of the heavens on earth. And the heart of it all was a road, not one, but a network of trails that stitched their vast empire together. Before the Spanish arrived, the Inca Empire, known as Tawantinsuyu or the Land of the Four Quarters, was the largest on earth. Stretching over 2,500 miles from modern-day Colombia down to Chile, it was a mosaic of climates and cultures, all ruled from the sacred capital of Cusco. The ruler, the Sapa Inca, was more than a king. He was a living god, a direct descendant of the sun god, Inti. To manage this colossal territory, the Inca achieved one of history's greatest engineering marvels. This is the true golden path of the Inca, not a road paved with metal, but a path whose value was far greater. The Qhapaq Ñan, or the Great Inca Road, a staggering 25,000-mile network of meticulously built roads, bridges, and tunnels. It cut through treacherous mountain passes, crossed arid deserts, and sliced through dense jungles. It was the empire's circulatory system, a web of stone and gravel that bound millions of people together under one rule. And along this path traveled the Chasquis. They were the lifeblood of the empire, an elite corps of relay runners. Young, fit, and chosen for their endurance, they carried messages, records, and small goods across the vast distances. A message could travel over 150 miles in a single day, passed from one runner to the next in a seamless relay. They chewed coca leaves to fight fatigue and blew a conch shell to announce their arrival. Thanks to them, the Sapa Inca in Cusco could receive news from the farthest corners of his empire faster than a horse could gallop the same distance. This road was power. It was control. It was unity. And where did this path lead? All roads led to Cusco, and at the heart of Cusco was the most sacred site in the entire empire, the Coricancha, the Temple of the Sun. This wasn't just decorated with gold, it was sheathed in it. Eyewitness accounts from the first Spaniards tell of a building whose stone walls were covered with over 700 plates of solid gold, each weighing several pounds. Inside, the famed Golden Garden depicted the empire's bounty in precious metals. A field of corn, with silver stalks and golden ears. Golden llamas, shepherds, insects, and butterflies. It was the ultimate offering to Inti, a dazzling spectacle of faith and artistry. But this world of divine light was about to be plunged into darkness. In 1532, a small band of 168 Spanish conquistadors, led by Francisco Pizarro, arrived on the shores of Peru. They were driven by rumors of a kingdom overflowing with gold, a legend they called El Dorado. They found an empire in turmoil, weakened by a brutal civil war between two half-brothers, Atahualpa and Huáscar, who both vied for the title of Sapa Inca. Pizarro, through deception and tactical advantage, achieved the unthinkable. He captured Atahualpa. Seeing the Spaniards' insatiable thirst for gold, Atahualpa made a desperate, historic bargain. In exchange for his freedom, he offered to fill a large room, about 22 feet long by 17 feet wide, once with gold, and then twice over with silver. Pizarro agreed. The order went out across the empire. A river of gold began to flow towards the Spanish camp at Cajamarca. Priceless, sacred artifacts. Statues, goblets, ceremonial jewelry were stripped from temples and palaces. The divine sweat of the sun was piled high, a mountain of sacred art intended to save a god. The room was filled. The ransom was paid. The Inca had kept their promise. But Pizarro did not. Fearing a potential uprising and wanting to solidify his control, he put Atahualpa on trial for treason and had him executed. The murder of the Sapa Inca sent a shockwave across the empire. The divine link was broken. The center of their universe had collapsed. The Spanish melted down almost the entire collection of priceless artifacts into ingots, destroying centuries of irreplaceable art for its raw monetary value. And here, the story turns to legend. The tale goes that when the news of Atahualpa's murder reached the Inca general Rumiñahui, who was leading a massive caravan of 11,000 llamas laden with yet more gold for the ransom, he refused to let it fall into Spanish hands. What happened to that treasure? One legend says he buried it in a secret cave in the mountains. Another tells of the great golden chain of the Inca Huayna Qhapaq, so heavy it took hundreds of men to lift, being hurled into the depths of Lake Titicaca. This gave birth to the enduring myth of Paititi, or the Spanish legend of El Dorado, a supposed lost city, a final refuge for the Inca, hidden deep within the Amazon rainforest, where all the remaining gold of the empire was taken. For centuries, explorers and treasure hunters have searched for Paititi, drawn by maps, ancient texts, and the lure of unimaginable wealth. Many have lost their lives in the unforgiving jungle, chasing a whisper, a dream of gold. But perhaps the real treasure was never the gold. The gold was plundered, melted, and shipped across an ocean. The true golden path remains. The Qhapaq Ñan. Today, surviving sections of this great road are a UNESCO World Heritage Site. You can walk the same stones the Chasquis ran upon, look out at the same vistas the Sapa Inca surveyed, and feel the spirit of the people who built it. The treasure wasn't the metal they held, but the empire they built, the culture they created, and the incredible legacy they left carved into the very mountains themselves. That is the real gold of the Inca, and it's a treasure that can never be stolen.